Hey, what's good? What's good? What's good with y'all? Y'all know what it is. It's your boy Trey, and this is E2G presents First Formation Morning Sports Talk. So come on and fall in with us this morning as we get to some of the top topics in sports, just from yesterday, last night, however you want to say it. Good morning, Coach. Good morning, Coach. How you doing this morning? Glad to have this information with us. Like I said, plenty going on as we get down to I guess, as the people used to say back in the day, the nitty gritty when it comes down to potentially this NBA preseason. You know what? Let me see how I want to do this first. So one thing that comes to mind real quick is how much do we really put into preseason? Like we always have a televised, especially nowadays. We know what the networks and stuff put into it because they get ratings that turn into dollars for them. But as a player, coach, organization, team, how much do we put into preseason? Coach Rye, a coach of a top notch program in Fort Hood's military basketball. Coach, do you put any real angst into preseason? Well, because when I look at it, um, we have major leagues have a couple of games before they start their season. Football has 3 games before they start their season. Basketball has 6 games before they start their season. Like, is it beneficial or does it work for the most part? In state is. I'm very sure it sounds a little sophomorish, maybe elementary, even in the question, especially being a person who has participated in some instances. But does it really? What is it doing in state when we look at it? Um, just a question that is going to come up, of course, later on as we get in and talk about these topics for today. Of course, just like anything else, it's coming to an end of the baseball um, season. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Glad to have you more formation with us this morning, Kim. Glad to see you here. Uh, but yeah, it's getting closer. Of course, last night, two of the four teams, 2 of the 4 games that's left in the major leagues, had their games last night. One being the Philadelphia Phillies facing off against the Atlanta Braves, in which the Atlanta Braves were able to tie their series 1-1 with 3-0 win last night in the NLDS. Of course, on the opposite side of the spectrum, other side of the country, same division, the San Diego Padres were at the Los Angeles Dodgers, in which the Los Angeles Dodgers were not so fortunate to get a 2-0 lead, um, getting the series tied at 1-1 as the Padres got the W last night, 5-3. But it was an exciting game. I did catch a couple of later innings in that game. Um, of course, tonight, up by one, the Houston Astros host the Seattle Mariners, in which they try to their attempt to tie that series 1-1, as well as the New York Yankees, currently holding a 1-0 lead as the Cleveland Guardians are in New York to try to tie that series as well. So getting to what Coach Rice says, I use it as an opportunity to elevate the rotational players. You have your core identified and you use it to see how those prospects. And I would, of course, Coach, just like I was saying, I believe that to be the case. Um, and to that point, to that to regard in which it was, of course, one of the things that what you say, you use it as a chance to see um, what you have in other players, what you still have in your, like you say, your core pieces, how they mesh, who I can sit up and bring into that core. Of course, especially being at the installation where and you get people in and out for the most part. some kids that, for that fact of the matter, that have never even knew or paid attention to military basketball, that are just ballers from their high school time and all that type of stuff, that they can decide to do anything, not go to school, they decide to end up in the military, they in the gym hooping, and you see them, you catch them, so you know what I'm saying, it's a lot of different types of stuff for the most part. And I get they come in, you take it as that point. So additionally, I guess the second part to that question, coach, is presumably you don't uh besides that, you don't take any issues with, okay, preseason or a couple games. Like I see y'all have a game against the Austin Bats, the ABA team out of Austin. Those type of games, of course, that's not a military game, but it is potentially a tier professional program. When you get those games, how much do you pull from that game for the most part? I guess you could say additionally, as well as, is there? I guess I'm getting at Milwaukee teams like Milwaukee Bucks currently 0-5 in the preseason, in which we're going to get to because they had a game last night. They're 0-5 in the preseason currently. Only got one more game left. Does these games and the fact that you're losing these games, what does it say to you or anyone out there? Just an opinion, of course, a comment. What does it say to you? Additionally, when you have just anything, I mean, we're talking about sports right now, but it's anything. There's a lot of things in which we go out, we practice, and sometimes we don't become. It's not a spot on first off the right off the rip, but you continue on it. You got people that make shirts. My girl Kimberly Green, and I don't know if she's the one manufacturing a shirt, but you know what I'm saying, Buckets University. Be sure to go out and check that Kimberly Green Buckets University. She has a apparel line, shirt line. How many times does she have to practice to make sure she gets the shirt right? I know when I'm putting together leagues and schedules and stuff like that to get it where I want it a certain way, I have to go to the drawing boards a couple of times. It's just not a one time thing, because of course there's factors and all of that. How much angst, you know, saying, that you put into practice or putting doing something that's going to produce a certain muscle memory that you're going to be like, okay, I'm good. Um, Anthony Price says your core not together. Of course, I seen this last night. Anthony, the Lakers. Yeah, it wasn't pretty. I was just discussing or texting, messaging Coach Wayne on his page and talking about that. So we had three colleges this weekend at the Austin Best and the Austin Best tonight. You want the guys to compete, but I prefer to play competitively early, get beat up on, and use it to build. Okay, losing early is good, but you want to build chemistry off it. I got it, coach. I see. So it's a method to your madness, and I'm saying a lot of people, it's strategic. I get it. Some people just don't get down with the strategy of things or take a lot of angst in it. But of course, in your case, it seems like you have a plan. Even in state is regardless, and I'm very sure you're conveying that to your players as well. You know, saying this is what it is, so that way they don't get too far caught up in what's going to happen. If you get drugged, if you win out, you know, saying all that type of stuff, it makes a difference in some degree. So, of course, appreciate that insight, Coach. So let me see. Let me get into some of these. Like I said, it had about 6 to 7 games, 8 games last night in the NBA preseason. Getting closer, 5 days away from the start of the regular season. Last night, yesterday, where we want to start? Where do we begin? Let's begin here. Let me make sure so I can be able to see. Like I said, beginning with the first game, the New York Knicks took on the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers victorious, winning 109-100. Both teams currently sitting at 2-1 for their season. The Knicks led by R.J. Barrett's 21 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists in 27 minutes of play. 12 points from Emmanuel Quickly, 13 from Julius Randle, 11 from Jalen Bronson, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Um, 8 points from center Mike Mitchell Richardson. Correction, Mitchell Robinson. Sorry about that. Indiana Pacers, led by Benedict Mathurin, the rookie sensation out of Arizona. Um, 27 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist in 30 minutes of play. 15 points from Andrew Newhart. 10 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Miles Turner. Duarte, 13, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Where is? Oh, okay. Jalen Smith, 9 points, 4 rebounds, no assists. Buddy Hield, 7 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. You know what? It's funny that they talk about this. So last night was I watching one of the casts on NBA, ESPN NBA. Yeah, Malika Williams and Jalen Rose, in which um, in which the conversation was during the Lakers game. So while looking at the Lakers game, it was a lot of stuff that was apparent, in my opinion. You know what? I won't put a Pinterest in that real quick. We'll get to the Lakers game soon enough. Um, but yeah, uh, New York wasn't able to get the win. Of course, like I said, preseason 2-1 for both teams, going for. You know what, Coach? Not too many people speak of Danny Granger, and it's funny because Danny Granger was popping before Paul George was. Danny Granger used to be that dude that used to give you everything, and then he kind of like just started falling off. Of course, injuries, I think it was, but Danny Granger, the Pacers, you can tell the Pacers have a type, which is interesting due to the fact of uh, when Danny Granger was around is at the time where Larry Bird was coaching slash presidenting, GMing, and all that type of stuff. But that's a Danny Granger. That's a name we ain't heard in a while. Of course, next off, the Atlanta Hawks, Cleveland Cavaliers. Interestingly enough, you got a situation to where there's some conversations in reference to what's going to be up with this this tandem in Atlanta. We're talking about the tandem of DeJounte Murray and Trey Young, of course. And they can amount to the win last night as the Cleveland Cavaliers pulled off the W 105-99, sending the Hawks to their first loss of the preseason 2-1 on their year. Cleveland 1-2 on their year. Excuse me. Of course, 6 players, I think five players in double figures for the Hawks, led by the Jonte Murray's 17 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists in 33 minutes of play. John Collins, 15.7 rebounds, and DeAndre Hunter, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 11 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist from AJ Griffin. Trey Young, 14 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists. The Cavaliers, 5 players in double figures, led by Donovan Mitchell's 24 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 23 points from Darius Garland with 5 rebounds, 12 assists, double effort from Amandi Diakite, 13 points, 11 rebounds, 1 assist, 16 points from Seti Osman with 7 rebounds and 2 assists. And lastly, Isaac Oroku, 33 minutes of play, 16 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists. Let me get to these comments. A lot of people also don't remember that Pacers drafted Kawhi Leonard. You know what? That is true, Coach. They definitely have a type. Yeah, they're moving on that type. Keeping those type of players in their wheelhouse. Um, but what do y'all think if those are checked? I think we talked about it, but of course it's going to be a continued topic about the Javante Murray and Trey Young duo, the backcourt in Atlanta. It continues, as I say, sports analysts continue to talk about. I think that's going to be a formidable team for the most part. They'll be able to um, apply pressure, get things done. Do you think? Of course, there was a lot of trades or a lot of movement over the course of the off season. Is this one the biggest one? Of course, we got Rudy Gobert moving to Minnesota, in which they played the Lakers last night. Gobert didn't play. You got Donovan Mitchell in Cleveland last night, which presumably they started to play off as they did a little damage last night, but it's not regular season, it's preseason. What else we had? One of the ones that we talked about before that's kind of under the radar that we haven't seen yet, which is going to probably be covered up a little bit from the simple fact about the situation with their coach. The Boston Celtics bringing in Malcolm Brogdon from Indiana. Um, coach says, what coach say? Orlando will sell tickets. Their size may be a problem. Okay, I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, they're definitely gonna sell tickets. They're gonna get people out in seats. More excitement, and which we're going to talk about a little later today too. The watchability of teams and the top watchability from start to finish. Currently, the top 30 through 11, I think, for watchability of a team. Whereas a couple of systems in which they use, it was from ESPN about the watchability of the team. So it's a different aspect of a team's top notch playing ability, that ranking, but ranking from a business aspect and the ability to watch and pull in people. So we're going to talk about that a little later in this segment. Of course, continue on with one of the preseason game. Last night, the Charlotte Hornets dropped yet another one, 0-5 on the season, to the Philadelphia 76ers, who are 4-0 on their season. Of course, you know the 76, the Hornets are without their star point guard in LaMelo Ball, as he is dealing out 1 to 2 weeks with a high ankle sprain. All the heavy lifting for the most part was done by Gordon Hayward, 16 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists in 24 minutes of play. 12 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists from Terry Rozier. 11 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist from James Bouknight. 8 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist for Cody Martin. Jason Plumlee back in action, 6.6 rebounds, 5 assists in 16 minutes of play. We did not see Dennis Smith, 6 points, 3 assists. Kai Jones, 2 rebounds, 5 assists. Kelly Oubre, 2 points, 2 rebounds. And Jalen Daniels, 2 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. The 76ers was led by Joel Embiid's 19 points in 23 minutes of play, 6 rebounds, 17 points from James Harden, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. Tyrese Maxey contributed 27 minutes, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Tobias Harris, 1.5 rebounds, 2 assists. PJ Tucker, in 19 minutes of play, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Max T. Steibel, 4 points. Corks Moss, 2 points. Montrezl Harrell, 14.6 rebounds. George Niang, 6 points, 1 rebound. And it kind of started there. In any case, Philly got the job taken care of. They continue to be undefeated in the season. But again, does that matter? Does the 0-5 for the Charlotte matter? This might cause a concern in Charlotte. Oh, yeah, definitely. I wonder, like, all that conversation in reference to the. It's funny how this media find a story just in about anything for the most part. It's content creation 24/7, and so I I go back to wondering what was the whole hoopla in reference to LaMelo. Not correction, not LaMelo, LiAngelo. He didn't play last night. He wasn't on. He wasn't in. It didn't get in the stats. Um, you would think that this would be an opportunity for him to etch his way into. Has he been sent back down already? I'm gonna have to look up and do that research. But in any case, it's just one of those things. Now you have now we have Ball that's out currently because of the ankle. Jordan Hayward is still on the mend. We ain't see Jordan ain't been right. Gordon, correction, sorry. Gordon ain't been right since he left Utah. He should have just went on to LA instead of he left Utah, went over to Boston. That didn't fare well. Left Boston. Now he's in Charlotte. And but of course he had a catastrophic injury, so I guess you could take that in consideration. But they just don't have the right pieces in Charlotte. I'm very sure they thought things would look different for them this offseason because they would expect to have the playing of Bridges, of course, him dealing with his problem issues in the um, from a criminal aspect put a damper on things as well. Um, Jonathan, what's good? Good, Jonathan. Glad to have you this morning. Uh, Charlotte needs to spend more money to attract more free agents and become a competitor in the East. Surround ball with talent. I want, you know what? That's a good thing you just said. Some Jonathan, which we're gonna get to that in a second. Let me go through the rest of these comments. Gordon, he went from Austin for real, coach. Like, yeah, it's unfortunate because Jordan was that dude when he was, especially when he was that Butler. Like this man almost ended Duke alone. Was it Duke or Kentucky? One of them. I can't remember which one it was. He almost ended him by himself. Had him on the ropes. Had a shot. But yes, sometimes the grass is not green on the other side. Facts that to that. Now going back to what Jonathan was just saying. So Jonathan, Coach, uh, Duke. All right, yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you, Jonathan. Um, so talk about this conversation. Just about this, you just struck. I ain't gonna struck a nerve, but it rung a bell for me. That Taco Bell. Um, how, drawing a player in, do you all think that is even potentially, or even is that just a cliche nowadays, or do you think there's a possibility for people to draw people in to play with other people? Is it possible? Money? Do y'all believe that money is the key tool in that nowadays, or do you think with how things are going as far as like social media, uh, other getting to other aspects of life and doing other things in life for these players that that money is just the best way or the only way to draw in, or you think there needs to be something more? So of course when you look at markets like Florida, correct, I ain't gonna say markets like Florida, markets in Florida, California, New York, maybe Atlanta, there's more. But what about the other smaller markets or even those in between markets? Like, is there a draw in outside of being in Houston? Is there a draw in Dallas or San Antonio to bring in more players? Hmm. Okay, so yes, you gave pretty good examples, Coach. Uh, Two pretty good examples. OKC, of course, losing their big three when they had their three, but was that the money market? Because like you just said, Coach, they was the big three. I think what broke up OKC was egos ultimately. James Harden was the first one to go. He broke up the big three. He wanted the money. He wanted to go on to play and be on his own. Ultimately, he never accomplished it. Do you all think if OKC would have stayed together with all three original, almost the same as what Golden State was, because you got to think Golden State, OKC had what Golden State had prior to them. So had all of them stayed together, put aside the opportunity to go get money and build in the OKC, would we be seeing them as a dynasty as opposed to Golden State? Like we got to understand that okay, you had James. James left. He went to Houston. He left KD and Russ, which was still pretty formidable. Uh, and then KD leaves, and then you just leave Russ. And of course, they got rid of Russ just to get rid of him. Money and brothers, a lot of these players like to team up with the other brothers to take the easiest path to the title. When he does talk in the BS walks level, I think it's more of a form of super teams. Okay, it was broken over. Harden. Correct, Coach. I agree. OKC would have been the early 2000 Lakers out west. Mm, okay. And this so when you get to it, then going back to the other part of that, the Bucks. The Bucks is a small money market that which has put some players around Giannis. Giannis has grown more like it's not necessarily homegrown, I guess you could say, but Chris Middleton was there before Giannis, so Chris Middleton's been around there a while. They brought in the Portises, they brought in Holiday. As it was a whole sweepstakes going on, everyone's trying to get their hands on Holiday at the time. But what is key is what Coach Uriah basically stated and said paying Harden did break them up. But is that OKC's fault or is it James Harden's fault? I don't know. I know that might sound kind of funny. Is it OKC's fault because they didn't pay Harden, or is it James Harden's fault because he was asking for more than which they could have gave him at the time? Um, like when you look at it, like who is there anyone to blame there, or is it just business at that point? Jabari Parker was there. Unfortunate for Jabari Parker, and then he got bounced around. He just wasn't ready. Ain't that your man's Simeon High School? Didn't Jabari Parker go to Simeon? I know he's from Chicago. Eddie Curry. Y'all had a few people come out of Chicago. Now I think about it, in the last 20 years. But yeah, so where else? Where else? Another game as I continue comments. Feel free to continue with the comments. I definitely get back to them. Another game last night. The Brooklyn Nets faced off against the Milwaukee Bucks, as we were just talking about just a few minutes ago. The Bucks and the Nets, for the most part, two different stories, two different teams, and two different stories. Brooklyn currently 1-2 on the season. Milwaukee 0-5 after their loss last night to the Nets. The Nets getting their first one in the preseason. Giannis basically spoke on, talked about how the 0-5 record he's not worried about, and which brings up the conversation this morning. Like, do you worry about that? Should you put any? What do you really put into the fact of you're playing? You're most likely trying to find, like you said, rotational players, core. Make sure your core is intact. Give a little run. So the simple fact of you doing this and not producing in what the preseason is made for, how does that formulate in when it's regular season? It's time to go. Like, you done had X amount of time. You've seen a plan. Maybe hopefully your last game or two, you decide, okay, let me see how this plan works. We see more and more minutes given the players. As of course, Kyrie Irving in this game, 33 minutes of play, 23 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Deron Sharp and Cam Thomas, 11 points apiece. Sharp with 5 rebounds, 1 assist. Cam with 1 rebound, 2 assists. Kevin Durant, 19 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists in 31 minutes of play, 16 points from Nick Claxton. So you see the minutes are getting a little heavier. So with that being said, is there uh is it just talk? Is it cap? Or should teams start worrying when you just consistently losing in preseason? Get ready to go into your regular season. Only 6 games. I guess maybe not when you only got 6 games. So you can't really, all you can do is basically give people a run in a sense and test out a couple of things. Further, of course, Giannis Antetokounmpo led the charge for the Milwaukee Bucks. 32 minutes of play, 24 points, 14 rebounds, 4 assists, as he is still in rare form. Drew Holiday, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 35 minutes of play, 15 points, 4 assists from Javon Carter in 29 minutes of play. And that kind of ended it for anyone in double figures. However, Marjan Beauchamp, 6 points. Norwad, 5 points. Serge Ibaka, 4 points, 4 rebounds. Bobby Portis, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. 2 assists and 4 rebounds. Of course, Chris Middleton is still working his way back, so we haven't seen him in play as of yet. Which I'm very sure is coming back. I'm very sure they need him back and want him back. Additionally, in that same topic with Brooklyn, it has came out. I don't know if y'all seen it or caught it. With Ben Simmons was out just in the park in one of the parks down in Brooklyn, shooting ball at the park, in which he airballed. Some way, some fashion, that air ball found its way on the net, went viral. And so Ben Simmons has a mindset now. His mindset is that basically he's like, why get mad at stuff like that? He's like, in state, he's Ben Simmons. That's all he says. I'm Ben Simmons. He has to remember he's Ben Simmons. So it doesn't make a difference. He's like, when he looks at the video or even looked out in general, there was more than just him airballing. He's like, there's people airballing all over the place. But yet, I'm the one that's being targeted, talked about. He said, instead this, he's Ben Simmons. It doesn't make a difference. Things happen. Uh, People do stuff to get a rise, and he's like, he's no longer going to be that rise. He's like, he's gotten to the mindset where he just swipes left on certain things in the media and keep it pushing. So I think that's a good thing. Chi-Town stand up. I see you, coach. Shout out to the Fine Nine. Illini in there. Good morning, sis. Good morning. Glad to see your information. Glad to have you here. So yeah, so it's like it's interesting to finally see Ben Simmons finally getting into that mindset and having the thought, you know, saying, and that I think I take it to resiliency. I'm huge on resiliency, and that resiliency that he's building up to be to. At some points, I've always had a mantra of what I cannot help, I don't worry about. I can't worry about, for the most part, what another person speaks or says or talks about me or what they do. I only can handle myself, my own. The things is the only things in which I can control. And if I put a rein on that leash or whatever you want, analogy you want to use, and put it on that, there, I can control that. I can only control my bubble. Now, in saying that, things in which they speak about or talk about, so, i.e., his work ethic and professionalism, as far as when it comes to him as a basketball player. Those things are the things I'm thinking that probably can be getting to him at some point. Maybe not now, but I'm very sure, like we just talked about with Bishop yesterday, our resident Brooklyn fan, it comes to the point like you're halfway through the season and Ben's lackluster percentage on field goals or lack of percent of field goals, period, it starts to take a toll, especially if you're losing or the games are getting close. You start to wonder, like, when do you start to put in that work? Do you allow it to stay? Do you allow it to continue to be the decision of the player, or do you start applying pressure and doing things differently? Um, Correct, coach. And I asked you that question as well, coach. Like, what do you do at the point where, like, how do you approach a Ben Simmons situation if you have a player that's in your program that they refuse almost or have no desire to shoot, in which they've been in your program a couple of years, a couple of seasons, and you realize that that hasn't developed at all. You see them in shoot arounds and look and watch and kind of see, what do you do? How do you urge, or what do you do to persuade this player, or what are you doing, or anyone of that? I mean, coaches. I mean, right now, Coach Uriah is the only coach that we have in here, or that speaks as a coach. What do you use, Coach Uriah, or anyone? Like, what would be your plan in the situation with Ben Simmons and his lack of desire to get field goals outside of the paint? Wait a second before we move on there. While I continue to pull up the rest of these scores. So you believe that's something in which Ben Simmons can do, Coach? Or you just think he just does, or lacks the currently maybe lacks the confidence in doing it? It doesn't want to and perceives it as he's better off not doing it. As we moving on, of course, last night the Pelicans faced off against Miami in Miami, in which again Zion Williamson goes down. This time just briefly, as he was leaves the game early with a tweaking. He tweaked his ankle, which we're starting to see a lot of in the off season, tweaking of ankles turns and stuff like that. So he wasn't there the full time. He did play 11 minutes, of course. In 11 minutes, 11 rebounds, 11 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. But the Pelicans were led by 15 points apiece from Najee Marshall in 24 minutes of play, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Trey Murphy the third, 4 rebounds, 1 assist in 24 minutes of play. 12 points from Jose Alvarado, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Uh, Herb Williams, 26 minutes to play, 6 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. Herman Gomez, 17 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist. We're not seeing Devontae Graham, 5 rebound, 5 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists as well. The Heat led by Bam and Tyler Heroes. Bam, 25 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 assists. Tyler Hero, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 23 points. 11 points from Max Struss. 12 points from Jimmy Butler, 2 rebounds, 6 assists. Caleb Martin, 9 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. 8 points from Dwayne Dedmon, 8 rebounds, 3 rebounds and 1 assist. As the Miami Heat get the dub last night to improve to 4-1 on the season. New Orleans now 3-1 on their season. As of course, like I said, Zion Williamson left the game early with the apparent a tweaking of his ankle. Of course, we hope with the current situations in which he's had with his health and the injuries that it's not anything serious, and he'll be back in action when they proceed. I shall proceed. All right, got you, coach. I feel you on that. Continuing, of course, I think there was 3 other games last night. Of course, the aforementioned Los Angeles Lakers, dismal, man. It was not looking good. The score, yeah, it was not looking good. The Los Angeles Lakers hosted the Minnesota Timberwolves last night, sort of coming home for a couple of player or two. As we know, DeAndre Russell, once drafted second, third, fourth overall in LA, was now playing for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Was there Kyle Anderson from UCLA fame back at home, playing for the Minnesota. The Timberwolves led by Naz Reid. As Naz Reid, LSU out of LSU a couple years ago, 27 minutes of play, 22 points, 13 rebounds, 2 assists. D'Angelo Russell, 15 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists. J.O. Noel, 14 points, 2 rounds, 2 assists, 15 points, 4 rebounds. Two from Luka Garza in 12 minutes of play. As y'all know, Luka Garza just 2 years ago over a year ago was the NCAA's Player of the Year. Nathan Knight, 10 points, 2 rebounds. Brian Ford, 7 points, 2 rebounds. Jaden McDaniels, 11 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. Anderson, as I mentioned before, 9 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. For the Lakers, they was led by LeBron James, 25 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists in 25 minutes of play. 10 points from Patrick Beverley, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. Anthony Davis, a double-double with 19 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists. Lonnie Walker, 12 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist in 19 minutes of play. Cole Swider, 11 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Russell Westbrook, 5 in 25 minutes late, 5 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. So, like I was saying earlier, what's good, Frat? What's going on, Lashad? I'm glad to have your information this morning, brother. So, like I was saying earlier, right? That's not it. What they got going on in LA is not it. It's looking like, yeah, one, Dennis Schroeder's going to have to work his way back. So he's probably going to need some more time in his belt to kind of like get in there because I don't know what was going on with him last night. Russell Westbrook. Couldn't shake people. I wouldn't say another year of drama, Anthony. It's not another year of drama. I wouldn't say that. It's just one of those things where they're definitely going to have to find, or maybe he's not putting forth any real true effort because it's preseason. But it was definitely a situation I was like, Russell can't, everyone is staying in front of him. He can't shake anybody. He can't get away from nobody. They're not spreading the floor to open up lanes so that way they can use the ability to go downhill. I mean, you got Patrick Beverley doing all from the guards doing more lift than him and Austin Reeves, Kendrick Nunn as well. I just don't know. I want to just chalk it up as preseason. We got one more game this preseason. It'll be all over Tuesday. Starts the beginning of the regular season. We'll take on Golden State. Hopefully, spoil their ring ceremony with a W and go back and take care of business in LA versus our cross hall rival. That's all I want for the beginning of the season. Those two wins at minimum. I don't know, Coach. At this point, I think Lonnie Walker started. I know Lonnie Walker started last night, so I don't know at this point. I don't know what Darvin Ham is doing. I know he was praising and saying that he was proud of the defense strides that they made. So his thing is seemingly he's preaching the defense. And I don't know how much defense we can say, but I know one thing: they can stop Nas Reed. And I'm thinking to myself, like, y'all can't stop Nas Reed. He's not the problem. Cat and Gobert didn't even play last night. So Nas Reed in 27 minutes dropped 22 points, 24 points. And he's not even the issue, the problem. They got three towers. I'm very sure they're not going to play them all together, but they potentially got three towers. Jaden McDaniels could be a problem too, and he was light work last night. He was doing a little light work last night. So in Minnesota, is Minnesota a little bit better than what we give it on to? Is there some? Are we going to have some growing pains potentially as Coach Ham tries to find that unit that can that can mesh well with scoring and defending? I think Kendrick Nunn is exactly what's that and what you said, Coach, where he's in the line for I think he's supposed to be this year's Monk or KCP going forth, and maybe hopefully he can do that. KCP it took a while to get going. In that case, Monk once he started going, he decided like, nah, I'm not standing around for this, and he bounced. That's the first chance he got. I think we see why so many have the Lakers in the play-in. I see Westbrook going to the bench early in the season. He may, and then we have a mental situation where he's going to rescind back, and then I really think it's one of those things where it's looking over the shoulder. You get even for a superstar or former superstar as Russell Westbrook, you start to get that look over your shoulder, like, "Yo, am I going to tap and be like, hey, we need you to come up to the main office?" Like, is it a point getting to the point to where Russ is going to be gone? I know one of the things Jalen Rose was talking about last night is uh, talking about Buddy Hield and Miles Turner in LA. It's like at this point, I was thinking about to myself, like, that was a good look, a possibility when we was looking at going off of Russell Westbrook last year, and knowing that he wasn't played as much, and that could have been some of the reason he was his numbers dropped or diminished. But now he's playing. There's no way to hide it. He even plays or he doesn't. And if he's not playing, no one's going to want to take that trade to bring him over to come and be ball dominant. He's not showing to be too formidable off the bench right now, but of course it might work out if they decide to. He said he's with it, but is he truly with it? It's just so much going on in LA now, and the West is getting better. Because last night I seen a Minnesota Timberwolves team that was just a tad bit better. I mean, LeBron played 25 minutes. Davis played 27 minutes. Westbrook played 25 minutes. Can we? And additionally, you could expect all of them to maybe get about 10 additional minutes in that phase, anywhere from 7 to 10 minutes. So at the max in 10 minutes, are in those 10 additional minutes apiece from them, are they making up those points in which they need to get W's consistently? I don't know. I was on a high. I was ready for the season start until I watched that game last night, and then I was like, "Yo, what's going on? We're not ready." Um, Kings faced off against the Suns in Phoenix. Phoenix taking the L by just 1 point, losing to Sacramento 105-104. Sacramento 3-0 on the preseason. Phoenix 1-2. The Kings was led by De'Aaron Fox's 22 minutes of play, 15 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 13 from Kevin Huerter, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 12 points from Terrence Davis, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 10 points from Quinn Cook, 1 rebound, 1 assist. Harrison Barnes contributed with 12 points, 5 rebounds. Sabonis, 9 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. Malik Monk, 5 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. Davion Mitchell, 6 points. Metu, 6 points. And what's Duffin DiVincenzo? He didn't play last night. Trey Lyles, 6 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 assist. Last night, Dwayne Washington Jr., 31 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists in 39 minutes of play. He went in 28 minutes of play, 12 points, 12 rebounds, 1 assist for Bizback Biyombo as he is still with the team. Damian Lee, 6 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Jock Landale, 17 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. And Josh Okogie, 6 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist in play. How did I know you was gonna be the one to say something? And yeah, I ain't lost my dog. It's just like, yo, it gets to a point. It's like, why? We ain't gotta beat it. You're the Lakers. we ain't got to go through stuff like that. Take care of business. Let's make moves, the correct moves. Or we might have to see Jenny might have to act on something what she said, and if she got to remove other people to bring in. But at this point, who else could she bring in to make moves? If that was the case, who else can the Lakers bring in to from an on court perspective? Who they bring in to make moves? Last game last night, the Los Angeles Clippers faced off against the Denver Nuggets in Los Angeles. The Clippers did lose 126-115. The Nuggets, about 9 players in double figures last night, led by Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, 14 points, 2 rebounds in 15 minutes of play. 15 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists from Ish Smith. Aaron Gordon, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. Michael Porter Jr., 12 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Christian Braun, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Davian Reed, 10 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. Zeke Naji, 13 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist. Again, no Jokic, no no Jamal, no Jokic. Oh, yes, again, no Jokic. I stand corrected. 16 minutes. Jokic, 2 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists. No Jamal Murray for the most part. And they're still clicking. So, again, another team with less doing more. The Clippers, led by Norman Powell, 34 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist in 25 minutes to play. Luke Kennard, 11 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. 13 points, 1 rebound from Marcus Morris Sr. Ivica Zubac, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Terrence Mann, 4 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Covington, 3 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. As there was, and Paul George, 2.6 rebounds, 4 assists in 16 minutes of play. Reggie Jackson, 1.0 rebounds, 2 assists. And I don't think Wall played. John Wall, of course, yes, he did play. John Wall in 10 minutes, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. For the Los Angeles Clippers, of course, last night Kawhi Leonard did not play. So now you're looking at they're getting ready to start to going. The season is upon us. Like I said, 5 days away. Plenty more preseason basketball to be played. Of course, additionally, tonight you have a couple of games, being the Grizzlies will play against the Pistons, Detroit basketball, the Spurs and the Thunder. Cavaliers face off against the Magic. We're going to see the rookie sensation in Panchero. The Rockets with their own rookie or young core with Porter Green and Smith and Seguin play against the oh, that's tomorrow. They play against them tomorrow. So tonight it's just the Grizzlies and Pistons, Cavaliers and Magic and Thunder and Spurs. 3 games tonight. Yeah, they go hard for the next couple of days as they look to finish out those preseason um, the preseason schedules. So yeah, so check on your favorite teams and take a look at what they got going on. I know Coach is a Chicago fan. Uh, Anthony, Washington Wizards. The Wizards, you rep the Wizards, right? Uh, Additionally, check this out, right? So I caught a glimpse of it last week, but I didn't speak on it or say anything about it. But of course, in the news, we have former Chicago. Speaking of Chicago coach, a former Chicago guard Ben Gordon arrested and charged with assault and child endangerment, and after punching his son in the face in the airport. Of course, the American Airlines employee, as well as some other witnesses, reported that the kid had punched the book, and they heard Ben Gordon, yelling at him, and then he punched him in state. Of course, he was arrested, taken out. He also was allegedly assaulted a police officer at the time when they were trying to put the handcuffs on him and get him into the car. What was revealed is that Ben Gordon has a restraining order that was against him from his child back in 2018. So I don't know if this is a situation where their help is needed or, yeah. Pretty awesome. I'm not expecting anything from there. Got it, coach. I don't know. He is a former. He used to get buckets for y'all, coach. He used to get buckets. He had a little time. 11 seasons. He played 11 seasons. Him, Kurt Heinrich. Y'all had a little squad then. But yeah, that's where he's at with it currently. Where Ben Gordon was basically arrested uh for punching his son in the face. Um, Oh, the new microphone. That's how we doing. That's what we doing. We got the new setups and everything. That's a new mic.
No, this ain't no new mic.
Oh, look like it was a new mic.
No, it's the same mic. What's going on, man?
What's going
Sorry
on,
I'm
bro?
late.
Oh no,
Was
no
on the
problem.
phone. Was on the phone with Herc, man, trying to figure out things for Nashville and stuff. So it is what it is. But how everybody doing on this Friday Eve, weekend Eve? How's everybody doing? What's going on? What's going on? WGO. Let's get it. We got a big game tonight,
You
don't
you
we?
got you got you got more. You know what? Yesterday I needed some. I needed that caffeine. I would have
Uh-huh.
needed that caffeine. I had a migraine. Oh, brother, goodness
Shoot,
gracious.
you want something to tell both of y'all had migraines yesterday then, because she had a headache yesterday too.
I had to sip. I left work. I ain't called nobody. I was like, yo, I'm out. I only did like
What?
I only did like an
You
hour
had
or
no
two of
games
work.
yesterday?
No, goodness, I was sit up thinking like if I got to continue on, I was like I got to sit up make some moves. It was bad. I came in and lay down, kicked off my shoes. I was like, it was stuff all over the place. I was like, yo, this is something else.
That's crazy. Did it subside ever?
Yeah, I took something of it, but of course I was up all last night and this morning, so I still feel a little twinge, but for now I'm good. So as long as it don't come back.
Yeah.
What's the question of the day, Africa, Coach Medea? Oh, how old his son? I don't know. I didn't see how old the son was. I think he's young.
What happened?
What's that thing? Ben Gordon punched his son in the face and was arrested for assault and child
He did
endangerment.
he did that in front of who? In
It
front of
was
someone?
at the airport. Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, you got
Wow.
any games? You got games tonight?
Yeah, I got four, bro. 4. Yep.
You getting that
4 games
those
tonight.
checks, those officiating checks.
Man, I'm trying, bro.
You getting any side things, the bets on the side?
Nah,
No.
nah, not yet. At least not yet. At least no.
So, question I just said, how do they do overtime down there?
Uh,
Penetration rule?
yeah, yeah. That's not how they do it there.
Yeah, that's how I do it. Same
Yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah.
Same exact way.
Mm-hmm. Why you thinking of doing it another way?
I was thinking of doing it another way. I gotta see.
Only Trey, only Trey, only Trey.
Just to give, I just try to break monotonies, man. I've been having all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what? Hurt told me
Okay.
one day. He's like, sometimes you gotta chill because your ideals is bigger than it's not. Everyone's not ready for the ideals in which you put forth. And I've been thinking to myself like, nah, we need to do something different. We need to re-inject some stuff to get into. So I was thinking about some different stuff.
If I go to Vegas and bet Bishop, I'm calling. What you calling me for, bro?
He said, "You ain't Donnie. You ain't my man Tim Donnie."
Sometimes kids are just saying. Plenty of times I got that wooden spoon in the kitchen. You ain't lying. Sometimes kids be trying you, man. Just like I'm sure you might have tried your dad.
Because after I said Little Spoon was light.
Yeah,
What is y'all going on? What is this talk with wooden spoons? What?
Oh, you don't know about the wooden spoon, Trey?
Hell no.
Oh my God! So you
Well, I'm from.
Coach
I was about to
Africa?
say they from the South, though. Yeah, they from the South.
Yeah. So most
But
parents,
no, Coach from
for us,
Chicago.
for most of us, and it's not even a South thing. It's just I don't know. Most parents, like I grew up, I know what they're talking about. In the kitchen, there was these wooden spoons. Actually, it wasn't just wooden spoons. It was wooden spoons, wooden fork. I don't know if it was a knife or not, but they were decorations.
Yeah, that's what I'm used to.
Now I'm used to the extension cord too. I know about that part. I was just about to say extension cord. I know about that too. I know about the wooden spoon too. But there was wooden spoons. Either they talked about the wooden spoon. There was one that was decorations that was on the wall, and then there was one that they used that was in the in the drawer that you used to stir like gravies and stuff like that. Old school. A wooden spoon. That's what they talking about. And your mom would get that wooden spoon and pop the hell out you with that spoon. Yeah, I was just saying, mom would pop the hell out you with that wooden spoon, and it wouldn't break.
If it's is it safe to say? Is it safe to say that we were abused as children?
Oh yeah, because you cannot get away with that today. Yeah, like what oh boy did.
Imagine. My mom
punched me. My mom punched me in the face when I was a kid at my grandma's house. My mom is probably like 5'2", 5'3". So I was already in high school. So I was already taller than my mom, probably by the end of the elementary. I was taller than my mom. So one day we was at my grandma's house, and she said something to me, and I guess the way I look, I promise on everything I love. I guess the way I look at her, I don't know. She hauled off and punched me, hit me, bro, gave me a 2-piece, pop. And I was like, what in the? And she was like, if you think you could be, you know how that, you ever had that moment with your parents where you think I brought you in this world, I'll take you out this world. Yeah. I had that whole thing going, right? I'm in between the chairs, like trying to in my grandma.
Trying to use the chairs.
Yeah, man. I'm trying
to dodge
the blows, bro. My grandma, my grandma said, why did you beating up on him like that? My grandma jumped up, and my grandma was a Lord, may she rest in peace. My grandma, she was a hefty woman, a real hefty woman. My grandma jumped out that chair and was like, stop beating on my grandson, and grabbed my mom. She said, you want to beat on somebody, beat on me. My mom didn't want no parts of that. Because like I said, my grandma was taller than my mama. And she didn't want no parts of my grandma. My grandma crazy. My grandma didn't play that. And she was like, stop beating on him. He ain't do nothing. Yeah, he did. He think he looked at me. He looked at me sideways. What? When did I look at you? What? How did I look at what?
Bruh,
Man, two
that's
piece. It was a whole thing, bro. It was a whole thing. But my grandma came to my rescue. I ain't gonna lie.
nah.
She
I
came to
ain't
my
got
rescue.
we ain't had those. I ain't have a grandmother come to my rescue. It was if it was even one on one, me and Dorothy or my brother. Like, oh yo, it used to go down. Like they said, anything within arm's reach,
Oh
hangers,
yeah. Oh,
extension
hang. Oh, bro.
cords,
Shoes, flip
shoes.
flops,
I'm trying to think like you
bro.
like my family's bloodline comes from Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
Tallulah, Louisiana.
Okay.
But
And
my mom had
she
been
is Granny is always the savior. You ain't never lied. Listen.
she had been so far removed from Louisiana bloodline. Like I like where do you get like she started coming up with the go outside and find your own switch.
I did
Like who
that.
does that?
Oh,
So you
yep.
do that?
Oh,
What you think I'm
yes.
coming
Oh,
back with? I'm coming back with
a
a
twig.
twig.
A twig.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
everyone's like, yo, I'm not coming back. Like we had the situation. I had all kinds of stuff.
Been there,
Being
done that too. Yeah, had to
uh
find my own switch.
I sit up and I remember because I was a runner. I was a runner.
Mm-mm.
It was a track. He's a runner. He's a track
I feel like
star.
that's where I got my football moves from because
He's
I
gonna
boy,
run
I was
away when it gets hard.
I
Like
be
it
like,
wasn't. I was like,
don't you
yeah, that's why I said crazy. That's why I said
run from me.
crazy footwork. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Swing
mad
the extension
footwork.
cord, and like the drop back. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And,
yeah.
and alter the
All them,
races.
yeah.
Yeah, say
A
all
lot,
that
of, a
type of
lot of
stuff.
these cats don't know. A lot
Yeah,
of people think that's something they did that was training. That was training, but that was training
yeah.
that
It
you
was it
learned
was
from survival training.
it's
That was
like
survival.
it was flight, what's that? Flight or flight.
Fight or flight, bro.
I remember getting under the bed, man. I remember one
I
time I
never
sit up.
could do that. Never could get
Oh
under the
yeah,
bed.
it was yeah. That was the plan. It was like you know, what I'm saying
But
find a
running,
way, run away, run
running
around
was my
run around
thing,
the
boy.
hallway, run through the
Yep.
hallway, the kitchen, and the living
Hey,
room.
play that in the middle of the living room like this.
Yeah, yeah. You
Jump
say
between the
go,
furniture,
and
trying
she's
to
like,
figure out which way she
you
going.
say stop and take off,
You
and
better
then
not run. You
of
better not
course
run.
when you
And that's
take
when she
off,
start throwing stuff. Yeah, that's when she start throwing
yeah,
stuff.
or try to catch you leaning over something, trying to catch you before you
Yeah.
get. All it take is one, like that
Ooh,
quick, like you know, what I'm saying a quick move and go. That was a
ooh.
training. That was in the house. Quick move
And
and
don't
go.
fool around and make them hurt themselves trying to
Oh
catch
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
Oh boy. Oh boy, it's about to be boy. Don't make them hurt themselves trying to catch you. Oh, it's a problem. Oh boy, you really in for it now.
I
You
remember
made
one time.
you made me stump my toe. Get up. Oh, you done made me. Oh boy. Boy.
I remember one time I thought she got the gun on me. I ain't gonna even lie. I stood up and broke out the door. And I stood up and broke it. She was putting it away. We had just went to the store.
That part, right?
She had got a box to put
They do,
her
don't they,
pistol.
Anthony? Perfect aim. Like I don't know where they get that aim from, bro. But go ahead, Trey. What'd you say?
She had got a pistol. She had got a box to put her pistol in. And so at the particular time I was doing not the shower joint. Not the shower joint. I remember those, plenty
Ooh,
of those.
those are the worst.
So she was putting the pistol in the box, and at the time I was getting into it with my little brother, and all I heard was a start fussing. So it's like, God dang it! And when she said that, I heard, and I was like, she's like, God dang it! She said something about the gun. I was out the door, pew, down the street. My aunt was like, Run, Trey, run! And so I was running, and then so she called. She was like, Boy, and so yeah, it's crazy. It was crazy. So it's but going back to that in what you say, some of that stuff in what you say, all that to say that some people grow up with that. And so of course nowadays is frowned upon, but those are the things that have shaped us in some way, form, or fashion, in which we sit here, we crack and joke about it, and we all are reminiscent of it. And all of us come from different walks of life, and probably didn't know each other at any point then. But it correlates. And so for Ben Gordon to be arrested for it, you got to think it was a situation with who else got in trouble for this? Was it Tyreek Hill? Who else?
Choking out
Someone
his
else?
son?
No, not choking his son
Oh,
for disciplining his kid. Was it Hill? I think it was Hill. He was somebody else. It's all kinds
it
of
was.
stuff
I don't think it was Hill. It was somebody else. I know you talking about. I remember hearing about it.
where he was punching him in the chest or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Peterson. Oh,
Peterson.
Adrian
Yeah,
Peterson.
Adrian Peterson.
Adrian
That's who it
Yeah.
was. It was Adrian
He
Peterson.
spanked his kid, like, you know what I'm saying, all that type of stuff. That's, you know what I'm saying, that's what culture was for us. And you know what I'm saying, it's a little bit
Yep.
and
Adrian
so
Peterson.
now, of course, now it's frowned upon, where you can't be doing that type of stuff. But hell, I used to get the business. Like Bishop said, that was training. That was training.
Yeah, that was, man. It was crazy. So they arrested him?
Yeah, he got arrested last week for that, man. He's due to be on court. Uh but there's some other stuff that went down with it as well. So I think he has a quote unquote, lack of a better terms, a rap sheet when it comes to the discipline of his child, and he's had
Mm-hmm.
restraining orders and all that type of stuff. So
And how old is
it's,
his son?
I did
They
not see
ain't
the
say.
age of his son. Yeah, they didn't say it in the article, and I didn't get a chance to go look it up while I was uh
It won't like I don't. So he punched him in his chest, right?
in his face.
Oh, he punched him in his face. So he
Yeah.
gotta be a teenager. He ain't punching no little kid in his face. So I'm assuming his son gotta be a teenager. At
Oh, it's a
least
video. I'll have to go back and look at it.
man, back in the day we caught the Omega
11
video.
years old.
He was 11.
What the hell is that? He's 11. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
we
he's
used to catch
11.
the. I used to catch the paddle in what was it, middle school? Yeah, I got that one time too. He was 11. Oh yeah, he might get in trouble for that. Ain't no reason no grown man punching an 11-year-old.
A kid, 11-year-old
Yeah,
for dropping the
yeah,
book.
I'm with you. Behind Bishop and Depression, I might have to sit that one out. Yeah, he if he 11, yeah, that's hard to explain for punching him in his face. Now, don't get me wrong, that's why I asked because I know plenty of parents punch their kids in the chest, in the arm. You know what I'm saying? At that age, at 11. You know what I'm saying? But when you get in the 15s, the 16s, the 17s, and they hike the height, oh, bro, yeah, you might get chin checked. Know that. It's a possibility of chin checking is coming. Know that for sure. And my dad, that's one thing, you know what? That's one thing I never had to say I had to worry about with my dad, though. My dad had never had to chin check me or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? My dad, yeah, he never had to do that ever for me.
Yeah, I didn't have to. Yeah, I think it was honestly, I think it was one of those things where it was a slight fear
At
factor
the airport, though, yeah, that's the killer. Like, you probably could have took him. I don't know.
into the bathroom, into a
Yeah,
stall.
but then there's people in the bathroom. There's people in the bathroom. They gonna see it or hear it anyway, too. Still, I don't know, man.
Sometimes you
You
gotta let
remember
them
how your
know.
mama used to do you? I know he a dude, so he probably ain't gonna do it. But remember how your mama used to get you on the
Put you
spot
in real close and sit up and talk to
and
you and
piss
pinch
and
you.
piss the devil out you, boy. Mom, people be like, why that baby crying? You don't even know your mom they done pissed and grab some of all that meat on your body with it, all the meat and just piss the devil out you. That junk be hurting, bro. Beagle Gordon is big as hell, though. That baby built like a grown. That's true. And I was thinking about that too, Coach Hunter. I was thinking about the same thing because Ben Gordon is big. His 11-year-old could possibly be 6 feet already. You right. You absolutely right. But his mind, you got to keep in mind, even though he may be big in stature, we know his mind ain't there yet at 11 years old. So you kind of got like, there's so many other ways I feel like you can discipline an 11-year-old. At 11, bro, they into their text. You could do a lot more to. Now, the thing of the matter is, which I would like to know, is the full details on what actually happened. Like what brought all this on? Was he talking reckless? Was he cursing at his daddy? Did he lay his hands on his daddy? Things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So
Did he give his daddy that look like
like I
bust a move?
supposedly like I was supposedly had given it. You know, but either way, punching him in his face, 11-year-old, that's gonna be hard to
Truck said his mom was like Leonidas.
my mom was on some 300 Roman gladiator stuff when I got it. That part, bro, I'm with you, drunk. I'm with you.
So my mom was.
My mom had that short woman's complex too.
Yeah, but so did mine because my mom's called short. They call her Shorty. So, but it was
Mm-hmm.
like it took one time for me to buck up at my mom for her to learn and basically understand. Like, okay, maybe I can't touch her no more. I was like 17 or 18, and she was saying something to me, and she was hitting me, and I was like in the corner, like, yo, did I find? I was like, yo, why do you keep hitting me? Like, you don't
Yeah.
have to talk to me. Don't hit me. And
Yeah.
that was the last time I had a situation where she stood up and we even raised her hand to do that.
I think that same thing happened to me when so when she did the incident which I told y'all previously, I think I was still in like I say elementary or middle school.
I'm laughing because I can see me doing some stuff like that, like in the corner, like you try to get between the
Man,
couch
get,
and the
bro,
head up, like
that's
like
what I was. But I'm just like you just said though. An incident happened where she got mad at me for something else. I forget what it was, and I was older. I was probably about 15 or 16, and she was hitting me, and she saw it wasn't phasing me. She was hitting me, and being I was taller, she really couldn't hit me in my face. She could only hit me like right up here in the shoulder, stuff like that. And I was like, it wasn't phasing me. I wasn't even saying nothing. She was just hitting me, and I wasn't even really saying nothing. But she see it wasn't moving me. It wasn't, it was no impact. And I think that's when she realized, like, all right, you know what?
Yes,
This ain't it. I can't do this right here no more. I gotta get him some other way. Was it an accident that led to the overreaction?
I don't. So from what I read in
I
the
know.
article, it
That's
said
what I
that
was asking too.
he dropped a book, or he was dropping a book, and he was telling him to pick it up, and he was punching him in the face. So that gives even more.
So he punched
11-year-old
more than
dropping the book.
once? He
Yeah, it was
punched him.
multiple. They said multiple times.
Oh wow! I need to hear the full story, bro, because we know there's one story, there's another story, and then there's the truth. So I need to hear all sides of the story. But again, like I said, the hard part is he's 11. And that's part, yeah, 11 too young for getting punched in the face, 2 piece to the chest is exactly Africa. That's exactly what I say. I'm so with that. Like 11 years old, I don't care how big you are. In court, they're gonna be like he's 11 though. He may be a big 11, but he's 11. That means his mind is not there yet to recognize, you know what I'm saying, certain things. So I don't know, bro. Never mind, he's done for multiple punches too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I asked Trey. I was like, he hit him more than once. Now, if he hit him once, he might have got away with it. But you punching him like a dude in the face at 11, and like he said, Ben Gordon is
Six
no
foot three.
small.
Yeah, 6'3".
Yeah, he ain't no small dude, bro. Like, I don't know. And you said this is not the first incident.
Supposedly not. He has another incident. Let me see.
Oh yeah, he's done for. If
So
he has multiple, yeah.
from the New York Post, it basically stated that an American Airlines employee told police she witnessed the former shooting guard punching the boy and yelling at him who dropped the book on the floor at the LaGuardia airport. 39-year-old Gordon charged with 2 counts of assault in the second degree, 2 counts of assault in the third degree, criminal contempt in first degree, criminal contempt in second degree, endangering welfare of a child, attempting assault in the third degree, and resisting arrest from an arraignment that he had on Tuesday. Um, the boy has an order of protection against his father dating back to 2018, according to the complaint. The order issued in Illinois prohibits Gordon from committing physical abuse, harassment, or interference with personal liberty against his son. The protection is waiting to be for the departing flight. Gordon and his child were waiting for a departing flight from Chicago from LaGuardia Airport at the time of the alleged beating, police sources told the Post. In addition to the child abuse allegations, the former Bull player is facing charges for resisting arrest and injuring 2 Port Authority officers in the process.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
he really finna. He finna really get in trouble because
both
not only
both
that,
cops were taken to the local hospital for treatment.
oh yeah,
He
yeah,
has
they finna
racked
get.
up a record of pulling fire alarms, barricading himself in the bathroom of a store he owns in Mount Vernon, forging a license plate, and allegedly assaulting flashing a knife at his former apartment building. Despite past run-ins with the law, Gordon's ex-girlfriend said former beau did not hit his son at the LaGuardia airport. So the girlfriend saying he didn't hit her. He didn't hit her. So I don't know at this point.
Well, guess what? Whether she said it happened or not, it's in the airport, so there's video somewhere that's gonna surface.
Oh yeah.
It's in the airport, so it's gonna surface. So if she's saying it didn't happen, know that there's cameras in the airport, and if it happened, it's gonna show, and when it come out, good luck. But being that he has a history of violence with his son, because you said 4 years ago, that was like in 2018, that was 4 years ago. His son was what, 8, 7?
Yeah.
No, it was
Yeah, 8, yeah, 5 years ago. So he was 6,
6. So
2018. Yeah.
so he was like, so That man, how he got a restraining order at 6 years old? His son. Well, obviously
Or it was
there's
4. Yeah, you're right. You're right. He was 7. 7. Yeah.
yeah, 4 years old. So that obviously he was like, so obviously he got some domestic going on in the
Yeah, some
household. So
situations going on.
yeah,
Like
so
someone said earlier, he needs help. Yeah,
yeah,
obviously he
so
needs help.
they probably gonna get him for
Or does he? Like it might be one of the things, like you said, it could be that he was raised a certain way and he used those same tactics,
tactics. Yeah, it could be,
which don't go
but that
well too
doesn't
well.
justify anything, right?
Because yeah, true that in that part. Because I was about to say, at 11-year-old, I was getting walloped.
That me too.
Dorothy was not playing.
He about to beat Robert Stillman. You stupid. R. Kelly. He talking about R. Kelly. He must be been really abused as a child and probably see it growing up. I don't know. What up, Zach? What up? What up? What up? Yeah, man. Good to see you. Glad you're tuning in. Well,
So, yeah,
hopefully
so
it'll work
it's
out for him.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. I mean, it's going to come out. Probably what's going to really hurt him is the simple fact that he assaulted those police officers. He sent 2 to the hospital.
Yeah, that right there alone.
Those authorities, yeah,
That's that alone. He gonna
cost him.
spend some time. Yeah, it's gonna spend a little bit of time and a huge fine.
So, of course, we know we got a couple of things going on in the NFL. Before we get to that and make our picks, I got to hit Ryan up and see what his pick is as well, so we can have that recorded. OBJ,
Three
Odell
teams.
Beckham Jr. has said that he was given a proposition, a deal from the Los Angeles Rams, and he said it was not indicative of what he felt his worth is. I wonder what it is. They haven't came out and said what it was exactly yet, but I really wonder what that was. In any case, he said it wasn't his worth, which
I want to know too, because I hear what Odell's saying, but bro, you've been injuring you've been
that part
injuring
I
prone
was
for the
going to ask
past
that, like,
4 or 5
like,
seasons, bro.
can you be choosy at this
Right
point, like,
at that part.
so of course
Especially
once
being the
they
fact that ain't nobody picked him up yet. Obviously, that
or
speaks
that
volumes
we
in
don't hear
itself.
anything else about people looking for. So one thing he said is, of course, after getting the the offer, I guess you could say, Odell Beckham tweeted and said, "LA knows where I want to be. Where I want, correction, LA knows where I wanted to be, but they didn't offer me anything. So I don't know what people want me to do. I definitely know my worth, and what the offer was isn't reflective of that. So it's tough to say that I can come on back, even though I thought I finally found a home." And that was his quote in his tweet. So with that being said, Bishop, like you said, that brings up a good question. Like, really, Odell? Like, seriously, brother? Like, not saying that it's not your work, but what are we playing off of? You're injured twice on the same knee, or is it separate knees? In any
I think
case,
it's
in 2 years,
different. I think it's two. I think it's separate needs. I think it's opposite
so
needs.
in 2 years you have an injury, a huge season-ending injury to both knees, one knee each. You was released from one team. At what point do you start to look at, like, okay, or when do you go get play them deals? You know what I'm saying? Those prove it deals. When do you go get a prove it deal? Like, you know what? Let me make some money doing this right quick, improve my worth, and come back to the drawing board and see where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I like that. That was my whole reason for speaking out about it, because I feel like right now his worth is not where he feels it. His worth is not where he thinks it is.
possibly, potentially.
Yeah, because he feels like he's worth more than that, and I think the league and a lot of people don't see him being worth that, because again, when it's all said and done, he's unsigned at this moment
Of course, head coach McVay states
by
that he
any team.
doesn't. He states that's not the last offer that the Rams are going to give him. So maybe they're going to sit around, or maybe they're going to wait to
What it
see what
was.
who is like. Maybe they want to wait and see. It's like, okay, you don't want to take this offer. Let's see what everyone else offers you, what anyone else offers you. Because of course, what I'm thinking they're looking at is Cooper Cup is struggling by himself. Well, he's not struggling. Cooper Cup is still
He's not
doing the
struggling.
same.
The team is
He's still doing
struggling.
the same damage
Yeah,
that he was doing with or
yeah. The
without him.
team
So
is
Cooper
struggling.
Cup isn't.
He's
Yeah, the
doing his
team is
thing.
struggling without
Yeah,
him. Yeah,
yeah.
the team is struggling without him. Cup isn't. Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? It would be advantageous for the team if they can get, you know what I'm saying. But of course, because
And
there's
that
only
may
so much
be
that
why.
Cup can do.
And that may be why he feels like he's worth more. Is because he sees the struggle in which the Rams are going through.
Mm-hmm.
without him being on the field. So maybe he feels like that's why he's worth more than what they're offering, because he sees him being on the sideline and seeing the struggles and which the Rams are going through outside of Cooper Kupp, why he feels like he's worth more than that. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like he looking at it like, well, shoot, without me, look like y'all struggling outside of Cooper. But if I come in there, now I'm another threat. That's even opening it up more for Cooper, as well as giving me an opportunity as well. So, let's play your cards and see what's up. I don't know.
Where else would he be a
I
good fit besides San Francisco?
Where else? Probably
Buffalo. You think no?
Over there with Diggs
and Gabriel? Because
Gabriel,
let's be honest.
and
Gabriel
Davis.
has
Yeah. Ooh. Now, if I'm him, and that's one of the four. So there's 4 teams they just named yesterday. I just saw yesterday 4 teams that looked at here. One was Buffalo, what you just said. The other one was the Ravens. Ravens would be huge. Ravens would be huge. Ravens would be major. Ravens. The other one, I think the third one was the Browns. Him headed back to Cleveland.
I don't see that.
Which was interesting.
But he would be with Deshaun and he would be with Amari. He would be with Amari Cooper.
That part, which is interesting, to him to go back after Baker's gone. Interesting. And then the 4th team was Seattle.
Him and DK?
Him, DK, yeah.
And Lockett? Ooh, that might be nasty, where you could just run Lockett in the slot.
That part. Those were the 4 teams I saw yesterday. So, I don't know. Rams was on there too. Rams were on there too. I'm sorry. Rams were on there too. I take it back. It was 5. Rams were on there too. But those 5 teams, if he's healthy, he could be a huge addition. Who out of those 5, who you think would be the most beneficial to have ODB on? To take them over the top, say for instance, like the Ravens who are struggling, the Rams who are struggling, the Seahawks who are coming up, who else? The Cleveland Browns who are struggling.
I think it would be the Browns. So I think him going to the Browns right now with Brissett and Cooper would give him more of a stability to continue to hold the line while they wait for Deshaun to get there. And then when Deshaun gets there, it might take him over the top. I think it'll be overkill in Buffalo for the simple fact that it might strengthen the core with Gabriel, with Davis and Diggs, but do they really need that? For the most part, Odell comes there, it starts to take away balls from somebody else. And I would like to say Baltimore would have been the best fit, but
right now it's only Mark. And Duvernay. Duvernay is coming.
It's Duvernay, Bateman, and Andrews.
Right.
So Beckham coming there. Does Beckham become the key, the number one, just in getting there after 2 knee surgeries and all that type of stuff? Like, if that's what you're betting on, then I think I look at Beckham being more effective as more so as a complementary to a situation as opposed to being the dude there. And I think that he's a little past the being the dude there. He can work back into it, but to just walk in and expect to be a dude, I think he's past that. And I think that's what you would be looking at in Baltimore. But of course, you have an equalizer in Jackson, so that's why it's as well, right, just as much as an enticing situation. And then lastly, you said, and going back to the Rams. Is ideal. It puts him back in where
it's the same. It's basically the same look. It's the same look you get in that last year.
The only thing you're doing now is you're making it harder for teams to lock down on Kupp. Kupp is still getting his, but now you make it harder. I mean, he's not getting touchdowns. He's getting yards and receptions, but he's not getting touchdowns like he was last year. So now you make it harder for them to contain him now, because now you have to worry about if Beckham is going off. And then they got other people like Higbee, Schroederneck, and stuff like that. Vance Jefferson will be back at some point. So it would start to fall in line.
So do you think Cooper Kupp was a triple crown because of Beckham? Helped him get the triple crown? You don't think that he was? You
Nah,
don't think
because
that was?
Beckham. Well, it might have been. I think what happened was Cooper started rolling around. I think it was Stafford he was the Cooper Triple Cup because of Stafford. So that helped, and then of course you had Robert
But it
Woods.
takes some
Robert
of the
Woods go down.
but yeah, but I'm saying being that Odell was there, doesn't it take some of the pressure off Cup to be able to get open more for Stafford to get the ball to him? Because now you can't single coverage Beckham
I would say that
because he could take the lid off the top.
I would say to a degree it helped. It definitely helped.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, so like I said, but what we're seeing is that Cup, I watched Cup since he got into the league, and slowly but surely he's been ascending. I think he was once he got Stafford, that was what he needed, and the fact that he had Beckham, that just like saying was a cherry on top because now, like you
Mm-hmm.
said, it was someone to remove him. Like y'all got to y'all can't forget Cooper Cup holds the record for holds the NCAA record in receiving.
Treated,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, so what I'm saying, he wasn't a slouch. He just didn't have what he needed. Now he's
Mm-hmm.
getting what he's needed. He's showing like, hey, I've been a problem. It's just I didn't have what I needed. Now he has what they need. It just so happened, and so now it's a whole different. He's a whole problem now. So if you like Cut would have had a Josh Allen or a Tom Brady or a Aaron Rodgers earlier in his career,
Mm-hmm.
we might be that person chasing some records or even further. But
But let me ask you
to go
this:
back to your question, I do believe it is possible that Beckham because it was Woods and then Woods went down, Beckham came in, and then
right,
Beckham started doing that.
right. Let me ask you this: I'm gonna not throw two more teams at you for OBJ and tell me your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh Steelers, Kansas City
Ah,
Chiefs.
ooh,
Let me tell you why I say these two teams.
okay,
One, who's the number one over in Pittsburgh?
Deontay Johnson,
But it should be who?
the number
Claypool.
one probably should be Claypool.
It should be Chase. It should be Chase. But it's not. I don't think they have a definitive one over there. That's why I put him sitting there. And you got a rookie quarterback. Pickett, things of that. That's why I say Pittsburgh. Kansas City, who's their leading receiver?
Uh, Kelsey.
Thank you. That's a problem. Your tight end should be your leading receiver. When you got Juju Smith-Schuster over there, he should be the one. That's why I feel like OBJ would be critical over there with Patrick Mahomes. Bruh, you talk about a replacement for Tyreek. Now, no, OBJ definitely is not a Tyreek. However, that would be a huge addition out there in KC. I'm just saying. What are your thoughts?
I could go with that. I would think actually what Anthony just sit up and brung up would be more formidable if you put OBJ
In the pack,
in
I agree with
Packers
that.
to
To
help with that core.
offset Devontae being gone.
Baby OBJ, why did you come here? Don't pass me the
I mean,
ball.
that's a good. Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a
yeah. True
that
that.
makes
Yeah.
sense, Zach. I totally understand where you're coming from with that because I think that was an issue out there in Cleveland, him and Baker. I think um, OBJ in Green Bay. That's that's a look. That's a look. Cobb out there, Cobb out there, but Devontae being gone, that's a look. That's a look.
Speak.
I could see that.
Speaking of Devontae, of course, like we said yesterday, it broke that he was being charged with misdemeanor assault as if you didn't see, he assaulted or pushed credentialed media person Ryan Zelby, a freelance photographer with ESPN, which Zelby sustained whiplash, a minor concussion, and a headache. All I hear is ching ching ching. You know how the sonic rings go when you when you hear
You
something
know
like
which
ding,
one?
ding, 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 ding.
You know which one is the major? That concussion and headache.
That concussion. Yes, because
I said it yesterday. I said it yesterday.
matter of fact, I think Odell pushed me. I mean, not Odell. I think Davante pushed me yesterday.
You
That's where my headache
stupid.
came from.
You stupid. New England, nah, bro. Nah. OBJ had the New England, no. Nah. Not in my opinion, Anthony.
Of course, for punishment, Devontae could face 6 months in jail or $1,000 fine.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
oh, it's either or.
yeah, or a thousand
He'll
dollar
get the
fine.
fine. He'll get the fine.
So you know what? So he
He'll get the
might get
fine.
the fine, true, but
First offense.
is that
If it was if it was if it was a
does
numerous
that send a
offense, then he would
message?
get the
Does that send a message
yeah. The,
to set
the
up a
fine. Well, the fine.
to
Now
give a $1 million a millionaire a $1,000 fine?
no. It ain't gonna be $1,000. It ain't gonna be that. I don't think it's gonna be that. If they find him, they're gonna find him lucrative. They're gonna make sure they find him to send the message what you're talking about.
I don't
Because
think it's anything they can do.
if you don't find him enough, then you're not sending any type of message about when players landing
So
putting their hands on him.
I honestly believe that the fine, what the courts can do, short of giving him 6 months the max, there's nothing the courts can do from a criminal aspect.
Mm-hmm.
The problem going to come in is if it's a civil, where they tap him or they force him to where he's going to pay. That's where he's going to pay at. 6 months, they might have him do 6 months. It's a misdemeanor charge. He'll be able to go do whatever to get some community service, scratch
Community
that off,
service, yeah,
get off. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying, and then go back and have this. Yeah, go back and have it expunged to where it's like it never happened. That's possible, especially for something like that, a misdemeanor. But which we said he's probably going to be a large number put out. And
Yeah,
after that
they have
large
to.
number is put out, is going to be probably settled, and then which would be undisclosed settled amount in which we won't know. And Mr. Zebby won't probably he probably well, I'm very sure he'll continue to photograph. He's freelance, so that's how he makes his living. But like you said
Depends on who he
yesterday,
puts in the lawsuit.
it'll be milking it. Yeah, concussions. Like I can't even
Yeah,
hold
that's
my
what I said.
camera
What up,
steady
Eric?
anymore.
That's why I said well, it all depends on who he put in the lawsuit.
Tua's back in practice. However, him nor Teddy Bridgewater are expected to
To
start.
start. Yeah.
So Skylar Thompson will be making his first start this year as a rookie. Uh, this week, that just made my choice for their game easier. So my
If I think for everybody, because
yeah,
who
yeah,
they got? Oh,
appreciate
who they got? They got the Ravens, right? Who they got?
it. Miami is playing Minnesota.
Ooh, oh, just when Eric comes on,
Yeah, it's just in time. It's like for
just
him to
when
get to
Eric
talk
comes
about that.
on. Yeah,
5-1.
yeah, yeah,
Look at him skull.
yeah. Yeah. Here we go. Here we go.
uh,
Whatchamacallit got some practice in yesterday. He threw the ball for the first time. Dak Prescott.
oh, you did?
Yes, he threw the ball. Dak Prescott threw the ball at practice. Briefly, wasn't a whole lot, but they have said that they're planning to play the Philadelphia Eagles with Cooper Rush.
How does that make you feel, Bishop?
Absolutely amazing. Because I feel like I'm gonna tell you why. I
Okay,
feel
okay.
like the reason why it helps me feel so. Let me say it like this first. Let me say so. A part of me would prefer Dak to be in
Mm-hmm,
because Dak against us is like he's suspect when he plays against us. He's very
mm-hmm,
suspect. Now the thing about Cooper Rush, I feel like Cooper Rush doesn't bother me that he's starting against us, even though he's on a 4-game win streak. What is he? 4-0,
mm-hmm.
3-0? 4-0.
4-0.
4-0. I feel like he hasn't faced a defense like ours. Now, I understand. Oh, they just played the Rams. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
However, I feel like the Rams defense ain't like our defense. And so I think they're going to put more pressure on Cooper Rush than the Rams did. And I feel like we can fluster him and make him make mistakes. Because since Cooper Rush has come in, he hasn't made any mistakes, man. He's literally played a flawless game to where he hasn't lost a game for him. So I feel like with him in, I feel like we can get him flustered and force him to make mistakes to help us get the win. But really, either way, I would be. It wouldn't matter who was playing, whether it was Rush or Dak. I'm cool with either one of them because I feel like Dak, for one, I knew. What did I say, Trent? There's no way Dak could come back with the broken thumb, the only digit on the opposite side of the football on his throwing hand, and be able to be functional that soon. That's not possible, bro.
So if y'all were to, for some reason, to lose this game this week, does this set y'all back at all?
No, I think it's a wake up call. I think if we lose this game, it's a wake up call, and it changes. It kind of it gives us the opportunity to say, okay, we needed that punch in the mouth. If we were to lose, we needed that punch in the mouth. Now we awake. We realize what it is. We're not invincible. Let's go in here and finish the season off. I know exactly. Rams didn't blitz a lot. They played it. Let's beat us with this arm defense, and it didn't work. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying, Eric. And I know that my whole point. That's why I said we're gonna put more pressure on Cooper.
On Rush?
Yeah, on Cooper. Force him to make mistakes. Force him to make command decisions quickly. I feel like if we can do that, we'll be all right, man. I think breaking news: Brady signed Deion Sanders' son to Brady. Brady, for real? Are you serious? They've already done it. It's crazy. It's crazy. Speaking of which, I know we on NFL, and this is still partial kind of NFL because we talking about
Yes, sir.
Did you talk about the? Because you know I missed a few days because going on all this stuff with the pool and stuff at the house. Did you talk about the thing with Deion Sanders and the coach from?
Nah.
Bruh. So mind you, let me tell you, I got so much stuff going on. I'm missing things. My wife told me about it yesterday. They done made a whole song about I'm swag. For those that don't know, Deion Sanders, for my old heads like Trey and all, you know, the Erics and all of that, you know, for those old heads that's been around for years that know about Florida State Deion Sanders, the Atlanta Falcons Dirty Bird Deion Sanders, you know what I'm saying? The Dallas Cowboys standing on the star Deion Sanders. He's very flamboyant. Everybody knows Deion Sanders is very flamboyant and probably one of the greatest corners to ever step foot on artificial turf in the NFL. To where we all know Deion Sanders was a corner who couldn't hit, but I dare you to throw to his side. I dare you to throw to his side. So for those that don't know, Deion Sanders, of course, is the head coach for Jackson State University, USB, historical HBC school. They played. Who was it? Was it? What was they? They played. What was it? They just played this weekend. They played. Of course, it was another HBCU, but I'm trying to think of the name of the school. I don't want to get the schools wrong. But either way, real quick as I looked that up. Deion Sanders played another HBCU team in pretty much Scoldra. When it happened, right? Alabama State, thank you. Alabama State, Eddie Robinson's team. Eddie Robinson. So it's Deion Sanders versus Eddie Robinson's team. So Deion Sanders and Eddie Robinson after the game, like I said, Jackson State blew out Alabama State. At the end of the game, coaches, you know how they meet at the middle of the field, shake hands and whatever. Well, Deion went to go give a bro hug, at the game after the game, and because Eddie Robinson didn't like how the game was, and he felt like Deion was being real disrespectful leading up to the week, and all of that good stuff, right? Leading up to the game and all of that. And so because of that, when they went to shake hands in the middle of the field, Deion tried to give him a bro hug, and Eddie Robinson was like, "Nah, we ain't doing no bro hugs here, bro. Like, get away from me with that." So I'm gonna show you a quick glimpse of what happened. This is the game. Here it is right here. This is that altercation. So Dion tried to give him a bro hug, and your boy was like, "Nah, we ain't doing no bro hugs." As you see, he did shake his hand, but then as you can see, as Dion trying to reach in to give him a hug, my boy then Dion pushes his arm or whatever, and feels some type of way. So when it's all said and done, Dion was saying, basically that, you know, I am swag. In other words, Dion is saying since he has come into the head coaching realm of HBCU of Jackson State,
Uh huh.
he has put HBCU on the map in recognizing African American or athletes in the HBCU realm. Eddie Robinson, however, feels like he initially stated before Deion said he was swag. Eddie Robinson stated that Deion Sanders is not swag. He's not swag. Well, that forced Deion Sanders to come back and say, "I am swag." He said, "What is swag? What is swag? What is swag? I am swag," which
Mm.
forced him to make a what do you call it? Hold on. Which forced him to make a video or a song, I should say. They made a song out of it. My wife showed it. Like I said, my wife showed it to me yesterday. Um, the song, or let me hear it, and I was like, "What?" I'm gonna show you what Coach Eddie Robinson said, though. This is what Eddie Robinson said. Hold on, real quick. See if hopefully y'all can hear it.
I guess me being up front is just like I thought it was a lot of disrespect the whole week, and so you're not gonna be disrespectful the whole week in the media. We didn't talk in the pregame. I was out there the whole time at the 50-yard line. He walked through our whole our whole huddle on our end zone. He came a long way around to get to his side of the field in the pregame. Thought that wasn't classy at all. And so in the postgame, I'm not about to give you the Obama bro hug. I'm
Obama,
gonna shake
bro.
your hand. I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna always be respectful and respect the game. You know, you got the great guys, W.C. Gordon, Eddie G. Robinson, those guys, Reno Chasm. I'm living on the shows with a swag.
So that's what he says, and then of course, in there's later where he speaks of, um,
Isn't that Steve McNair when he was a
how Dion is not swag. You know,
shake my hand and get the hell on.
um,
Period. You got the
he was upset. Basically, Eddie Robinson was upset that Dion basically was trying to run up the score. Dion, of course, says something differently because Dion put it when Eddie Robinson said Dion was trying to run up the score. Dion put in his backup quarterback for his son, Shador, who's the starting quarterback for Jack State. He put in
Uh
the
huh.
backup quarterback, and he said Eddie Robinson was putting 9 people in the box. So Dion, in return, being that he saw that Eddie Robinson was sending Alabama State was sending blitzers, he said to protect his quarterback. He told him he had the quarterback tell the receiver to do a stop and go or a hitch and go or whatever, and they threw a bomb and scored, which you saw briefly that
Hmm.
touchdown at the end. Well, Eddie Robinson didn't like that. Didn't like that at all. He felt like he was running up the score. He said because it was only seconds left. I think it wasn't much left in the game. He said they could have took a knee. So it is what it is. Dion, he clapped back and said what he said about it. He said, "I am swag. I am basically the reason why HBCU teams are being looked at more because of what I've done out here in Jackson State." What are y'all thoughts?
Uh, I think he has a leg to stand on, a platform, so to speak. Since he's been the coach at Jackson State, there has been more notoriety to the HBCU. I think Dion brung in the top, uh, one of the top players, sought after many Division One programs. Dion got him to come there. Now you're getting more players that are being recruited by top programs to be looked at or considering HBCUs. So in some degree, I think he has legs to stand on, which he talks about how he has been a voice for the HBCU culture in football. but I don't think it would be fair to say that there's homage should be paid to him. It's like, okay, you did it. Let's keep it pushing. It shouldn't be one of those situations where it's like, oh, you did it, we did it, I did it, I did this, I. That is where we start. That's where the problem starts to come in at. So, but saying, you got to take in consideration, Dion is, saying, somebody of notoriety. Eddie George, of course, we know now. Eddie George Jr. Um, um, yeah. And I think that's basically where it comes out at. So he's the biggest polarizing figure in HBCU, and then of course, not to mention that he's productive as a coach. I don't know
Very.
if it's
Didn't
I
they
don't
win the
know.
SWAC last year? Like Eric said, did they win the SWAC? They won the SWAC last year, didn't
I believe so, but they got
they? Yeah.
drug in that classic. But
Classic, yeah.
but it's like when it comes down to it, is there's a lot of talks. Would you think that Dion is ready for the Division One?
Division One. They talking about going in the.
To
They
take
talking. They
over a
just
make. I mean,
Clemson.
the talk. Yeah, there's talk, but is
Clemson.
he
Yeah.
ready for a Division One? Like to take over
I don't.
a
I don't see
top
why.
Division One program?
I don't see why not. I don't know. I don't see a reason why you wouldn't. If he's doing whatever he's doing out there, if he's doing what he's doing out there in the HBCU country, why
Mm-hmm.
isn't? Why wouldn't he be a good fit for Division One? Obviously, it's a reason why he initially ended up in HBCU first country before even going to Division One. Because obviously, it feels like there's people out there who feel like Deion Sanders wouldn't be a good fit in Division One, and so therefore he wasn't picked up by a Division One school initially, and he went to HBCU, of course, the one of his son's team, and now he's showing that he can be a formidable coach at that level. We do know D1 in HB in Division Two is two different things, but
Mm-hmm.
even still, he's still showing that he can do some things at that coaching level, which a lot of people I think were at question. I do want to share this with y'all real quick in regards because I do want to allow Dion to give his what Dion said.
It all, and he responded.
I walked up to, my exact words was, "Hey man, you had him ready to play the game," and shook hands and tried to embrace me. He pushed off. That was it. I don't know. It could be a plethora of things. I think he thought he was going to get a win. I don't know why he would have ever thought that. I did hear his interview where he said that I came out and ran around the field. All of the people that's been with me for years, and even playing in the NFL, I always come out the locker room and run around the field. That's my tradition. That's what I do. That wasn't nothing personal to invoke any riotous act against them. That's not who I am. That's not what I stand for. That's not what I'm about. Comments about what did I say leading up to the week. I think I was a darn good salesman leading up to the week. Did we sell the game out? Did we sell the game out? Yes or no? Had they ever been sold out here? So I thought I did my job. I thought I should be applauded. Really, you got to understand. We put a backup quarterback in, and that kid works his butt off, and they're blitzing. You got 9 in the box, and they're coming. So I got a running back that just got game. He's cold, and they got 9 in the box, and they're coming. So don't I want to protect my players as well? And what about the countless number of timeouts that you just called? Tell me something as a coach. So when the other team is trying to score on you, you don't supposed to try to score on them.
So that was his reasoning behind on why they end up scoring at the end of that game because he was protecting his play. He was protecting his play. So it is what it is, man. You hate to see it because when it's all said and done, we know how it is. We're trying to get more African Americans in the NFL in all aspects, as for owners, as owners, as coaches, as what front office people, all of that. And when we have ourselves holding one another back because we can't get along because of what happens on the field, it's a detriment to us as moving forward as a as a as a race. But either way, um, mass shouts out to Jackson State, mass shouts out to Alabama State, mass shouts out to the HBCU for doing what they do and being able to come on the platform and show that there are great athletes, which we've known before because we know the Jerry Rices and the Steve McNairs and all of them. We know there are plenty the Randall Cunninghams who came from HBCU, but now I think with Dion being out there in a HBCU is giving more recognition to these student athletes to be formidable into and being picked into the NFL. He coached college because both his sons played for one safety. When he coached them in high school, yeah, he did. He did. He has his own. Don't he have his own school? And the DM, I think he has his own. He has his own. He not his
Like a
yeah.
charter school.
Yeah, I want to say it's like LeBron. I think he has a charter school, and he was the head coach out there first, and then he picked up the HBCU, the Jackson State coaching job. So yeah, he definitely has been coaching his sons. Um, um, up all the way up until now, and is currently still coaching. Right, you're right, Eric. He has one playing safety, and he has the other one who is the quarterback, who is looking very good. Shador is looking good, and they have spoke of him being a charter school. Yeah, exactly, Eric. They have spoke of him being a Heisman candidate. They have, briefly spoke about it, of course. I don't know if it has there ever been a Heisman candidate from an HBCU.
Has it? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think I have never recalled a HBCU student athlete being a Heisman candidate, from my knowledge, from my recollection. But I mean, if he is, that'll be the first, and I'm assuming that'll be the first, and that'll be amazing, man. That would be amazing. That would say a whole lot about Dion. That would say a great deal about Dion himself and his coaching. In my opinion.
So of course, as we get closer to this time, we do have a game tonight, regardless of how much everyone thinks the game will be competitive. I seen a meme just a little bit ago where it's talking about the NFL creating the Thursday night schedule before selling it for $11 billion to Prime, which yesterday last week we had, which wasn't too well. Indianapolis Colts faced off against the Denver Broncos in what was a 12-9 or something like that game. Uh, that wasn't that much entertaining. And then here comes the Washington Commanders and Chicago Bears. Like, hold my beer.
Faulty note, Mike.
Do you, Bishop, think that we have a good game tonight?
I do. I think.
Okay, you think it's better than last week?
Last week was who again? Who was it?
The Indianapolis Colts and the Colts and the Denver Broncos.
Do I think it's? Yeah, it's probably about the same for me. I feel like it's about even. To be honest, it's about even. This game, of course, we spoke about Carson Wentz. Eric said this would be better. We talked about Carson Wentz the other day, so we know what to expect from Carson Wentz. We know Justin Fields has no help out there. He has one receiver, and pretty much that's about it. And it's just not. I really feel sorry for Justin, man. I do. I feel like he just got dealt a bad hand, and he's practically trying to carry this team as best he can as the leader of the team, as the quarterback, so forth and so on. And he just needs help. But I mean, it's Thursday night, prime time, on Prime. Let's see. Let's see. He said, Eric said, I see a lot of big plays happening. Do you? I don't know. We'll see. What do you think? Is it worth watching, Trey?
I think it's gonna be worth watching. I think we're gonna see it like we talked about before. Now Carson Wentz has a point to prove. I
Shut up
said
the
that he did put,
naysayers.
yeah, except his coach. You know what I'm saying?
That
Make his
part.
coach come back.
Yeah. Ron Rivera.
To where is he has something to prove. Even to the fact of the matter, I think I'm picking the Commanders tonight.
This is a hard pick, bro.
It
I'm
is.
not. I'm
Initially,
not going front. Yeah,
my
I'm
mind
not
coming
going
in
front.
said I was going to pick Chicago, but saying now I'm talking, thinking about it, I'm going with the Commanders tonight.
Bro, yeah. This is definitely a hard pick, bro. Like I'm not. And they playing in Washington too. I mean, not Washington. No, they're not playing in Washington.
Yeah, in Chicago.
They're in Chicago. That's right. They playing in Chicago. Um. the hell? Oh, that's why I'm looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, they playing in Chicago. Man? This is a hard pick.
Eric
bro.
is funny.
It's raining up there. Eric said Bears will win, and it's raining up there. Messing with Trey. Bears 2-3, Commanders 1-4. Golly, man, this is a hard one. I mean, by all means, Washington should win. They have more weapons out there in Washington with Wentz. But a part of me just wants to go with the Bears, man. Because they playing in Chicago. But it's so hard to go with Justin because he has no help, man. That dude be running for his life every game. I'm gonna go with the Bears, man. I'm going with my frat colors. I'm gonna take the Bears and go with my frat colors, man. I'm gonna go with the color.
Don't put that on the frat. Don't be doing that.
No, I'm just saying, man. I gotta go with the. That's the only reason I'm going with him, man. I feel like Carson Wentz is gonna be who he's gonna be in force. Watching the Bears play us last week, I like the scheme actually. Justin needs some experience. Exactly. That's what I totally agree, Eric. He needs help majorly. They need help on that O line, and he needs some premier wide receivers to come out there and do some things for him. I really do believe that. But yeah.
I think Carson gets it done in prime time. They get it done in prime time.
Okay. We got to get Ron's.
Yeah, I messaged him asking what he was, so I can get that as well.
Okay. Don't put the Bears in the same league as us. Don't you do that, Ricky Bobby. I'm not putting them in the league as us, man. I said I'm picking them because of the colors.
Because when they lose, I don't want to sit up in here.
No, they lose. That ain't my squad or nothing like that. But I'm repping our colors, and I mean, it is what it is. So I'm going with the colors. It's hard to pick. I had nothing else to.
I see that uniform they're waving looks nice.
What? Who?
The uniform that Chicago's wearing tonight. I think the orange jersey with the blue.
Yeah. That joke is nice. Yeah, I got that jersey. I got that jersey here. Of course you could, Eric. Of course you could. The reason why I picked the Bears is because I had nothing else to go off of. I couldn't really pick the Washington Commanders because I do want them to lose.
You know better than Eric.
They in our division, so I want them to lose. But at the same time, like, this is a toilet bowl game too. So I needed a reason to pick a team, and so I chose the Bears because of the colors.
You know what? Now I think about it, I wonder. Too bad Eric won't be on. I'm not Eric. But Visionary be on. I'll ask her that question
on Monday.
The reason behind the color. I know she's an Eagles fan, but her husband is a Cowboys fan, and I'm going to see if we can find that out, get us a little insight. But you know better than Eric. Don't do that.
Yeah,
we are not the Bears.
I would definitely. Yeah, we were definitely not that. You know that. Don't play with us.
But in any case, that is our show for today. Y'all know to catch us tomorrow.
Who's a Panthers fan?
I thought. Oh, you know what? You're right.
Is he?
I thought he was a Cowboys
Yeah,
fan.
he is. I was about to say,
he's a Panthers fan. Carolina. That's right. But in any case, y'all know where to catch us.
Monday through Friday.
Oh, the Rod said, "Do I have to?"
Yeah, you got to. You got to pick somebody. Yeah, see, Ron in the same position as me. I'm like, man, how do you pick between these two?
He said he's taking the C words. Which C word? Commanders or the Commanders or the Chicago?
I know, right? There's 2 C's in that. He must be taking the Commanders.
Look, he's asking who we took.
Yeah. He must be, yeah. Yeah.
I hope he takes Chicago.
No, he's going to take the Commanders.
No, he's probably going to be like Trey's Thursday night picks ain't too high.
Going with Washington now. All right,
Yeah.
Zach, got you. Great show, fellas. Appreciate your roll 5 to you, too, there, excellent brother, M.A.
Let's see if you get it. I've been doing some willing and dealing on fantasy in like all for. I'm going all in. It'll make a difference.
Going all in?
Yeah,
I gotta look at my stuff tonight. Make sure I'm G to G.
I set up and got one trade going. I got approved. I'm waiting on that.
Who you trade with again? Applewhite?
No, I did send him a trade, but he wasn't. He didn't accept. I don't think he accepted it yet. And then, but Snook, we put together. I traded him head up. Kyler Murray for Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones, the running back?
Yes.
Ain't a bad trade.
Yeah, that's the fact because I think he needed a quarterback, so I was like, let me give him one of mine.
You must ain't got nobody, Anthony. That's why. You must don't have nobody, Anthony. I'm gonna look at your squad because I don't know. You must not have nobody. Who's Anthony's squad on the squad?
Discount.
Have I played him yet? Team. Oh no, he's 3-2. You see who is? Let me see who he got. Oh, you got AJ? Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Kyle Pitts, DK. Oh no, you got some people, and you got Josh Jacobs. Oh yeah, you got some people. You must be trying to send on some funky trades then, because you definitely got some people. Who's your backup QB? Oh, Jameis. Who I want off your squad? I might have to send you something there, guy. All right, man, I got to get off this thing when we got somebody coming through. I'm going to holler at you, man.
All right, I'll holler at you, brother. Y'all take care and enjoy y'all do.